So now let's get started with the first topic, how to navigate the pre-award information space. And that's what GrantForward is designed for. Okay, so here I assume that you already have an account. GrantForward is a website, and you use this website by coming here. Okay, you come to grantforward.com. Okay, and then you log in. Here I have my credential here. Well, the credential of a real professor in computer science of University of Illinois. Okay, so I'm going to use his credential here so that we have a realistic scenario. Today, I will be a professor doing computer science, and I would like to expand to life sciences. I want to do something about machine learning, data processing, data mining in the area of life sciences. That's our scenario today. So you should already have an account. If not, you could easily sign up. Click on this sign up button. Okay, fill in your email, your institutional email. Okay, and then your name, your password, and so on. Then you will get an account registered, and you can use GrantForward from anywhere. So I will not talk about how to create an account. Let me just log in. Okay, so after logging in, okay, you see this page here, the various aspects of GrantForward, the various aspects of pre-award information are all listed quite obviously, clearly at the top, okay, of this menu item here, this navigation bar, okay. Let's start with the first one here. Well, not the first, the third one here. Okay, I'll come back to the earlier ones. First, this is the grants. Okay, here you can look for search about grants. You can find the grants. GrantForward is a very large database of grants. Just looking at the grants, they are open and continuous, which means active grants. There are currently 25,000. Okay, how do you find among these comprehensive database the grants that you would care about? Okay, I will come back here to do about grant search. It's our second topic. Okay, our topic later. Or you could look at our tutorial, our online support material to learn about search. Okay, here you can also do save your search to receive alerts. I will cover this recommendation, receive recommendation in order to be aware of the funding landscape around your research interest. Create the grant list. You shortlist grants you care about so you can manage, say, grants that are for your multiple projects, multiple directions you are pursuing. You can also view the history, the viewing history, what grants you have looked at, so that you can always pick up things you have considered earlier. You can share grants. And here, finally, there's a new item here. There is COVID-19. We know why we have this here, because it's a critical area. There are a lot of grants here. So if you click on this, you will see actually specifically compiled the grants for COVID-19. So this is a grant tab about future funding opportunity. What else? Well, when you are writing a proposal, for example, if you hear about a big data program from National Science Foundation or from other institutions, you may be wondering what could be funded under this topic of big data. So that's why we have this awards tab. Award means funded project, awarded project. So we will not talk much about this today, but here it is a database of more than, well, 1 followed by 6 digit, 1.3 million projects that have been funded. Okay, and for anyone, okay, working on specific area, say for our scenario, I'm looking at the big data. I enter keyword here. You will narrow down from the 1.3 million to these 400,000. These are grants that have keywords big data. So for example, this is a data extraction proposal, and this is a big data program, science and engineering here. You can click on the title to read more about, say, the PI, the institution, and the abstract. This will be the most helpful to let you know about what kind of sample topics that have been proven to be fundable. Okay, we have also seen institutions that use this, and also researchers use this award search to actually find the collaborators, because people who can get funding in certain area like big data perhaps could collaborate with you when it comes to big data. We have also seen grant offices use this to find the reviewers for their internal review program. Okay. Okay, so one question here is, what are the sources of our database? That's very timely. Okay, so we collect information, data relevant that you care from anywhere. They provide such worthy information. Awards or search, for example, the funded project are collected from major funding agencies that make public their funding records, such as National Science Foundation or NIH or NASA or big foundations like Gates Foundation. Okay, so these topics come from funded grant records, and they will be useful even if you are not looking for grant specific from that institution, because it represents research activities in the specific research area. Okay, but for grants, okay, the sources will be sponsors. Okay, and a timely question here: how about foundation and non-federal agencies? Yes, they are all included in our sponsors. So I'm mentioning the question you are asking here because I'm watching at your text chat. So although everyone is muted, but I'm watching the chat so that if you have a question, please ask in real time. So this next step is, if you want to get money, you got to know where money is, where money comes from. That we call the sources of our grant data to be sponsored, or other services may call it grant makers, funding agencies. And we are the only service that actually provide this A to Z. Well, actually not A to Z, 1 to Z. Well, not even 1 to Z, it's from spatial symbol, hash sign to Z. Okay, so this one-on-one lesson all the way to the Z part, for example, the Zurich University of Applied Sciences. Okay, so here, altogether at the current point of time is 16,000 funding sources. Okay, so these we call the sponsors, and they are organized here. And we keep wondering why GrantForward can have such larger comprehensive grant coverage. Although today is not a marketing webinar, but in a marketing webinar, we will compare to other grant services to show that with a fair benchmarking, with a list of queries, we cover 5 to 10 times more grants than others. So we have been wondering why. Okay, I think one reason I could explain is because we make our funding sources sponsor transparent, so that our users actually know exactly what sources we cover. Okay, in that way, when they see some of their favorite sources that we miss to cover, well, no one can be perfect, well, not even GrantForward. So in that case, they will tell us, and we will quickly expand to their sources. It's really through your help that we have such a big coverage that provide all the grants that you care about. Okay, so this can be very useful beyond checking our coverage of sources. If you are working, for example, in a specific area such as cancer study, you can search sponsors by, say, keyword cancer. Okay, so from 16,000, it narrowed down to this list of 126. I bet even if you have been doing cancer forever, you may not know all of the 126 sources. You may know about American Cancer Society, which have 13 grants at the GrantForward. Okay, but maybe you do not know American Italian Cancer Foundation. Yes, 1 grant. Okay, so click on each the title of the name here. You will see the details such as American Cancer Society, the description, some of the information such as its mission statement. You can also go to sponsor website. You click on this, it shows you the website. This is how GrantForward is able to discover a sponsor, a potential money maker, because they are present on the web. So GrantForward is like a web search engine. We collect information, but specifically focus on the grant domain. Okay, so you can look at other sources. For example, you can look at the National Science Foundation, 623 grant. It gives you a one-stop view of funding from a single source, in this case, a big source. You can see that it has many of the department, like a big university directorate, So for this professor that we are simulating, he is interested in computer stuff. So it would be something like a computer and information science is 55 grants. You can look at the other sub division of this, okay, networking system, communication foundation, and so on. Okay, so you ask about, do we have other kind of sources? Yes, of course. So look at this. You can look at sponsored by type. Federal state, only 300, even though they provide a big chunk of money for research. But well, there are only 300 of them out of the 16,000. That's why we need to go beyond grants.gov. Even though grants.gov cover well only the federal state, it does not cover even the state part. It covers only the federal part. So GrantForward, we do pay attention to the state level, such as your the health department of your Illinois state. Okay, so we do care funding sources in the state where our subscribers are present. Okay, so this is federal state. You ask about foundation. GrantForward has very strong coverage of foundation, more than 8,000. These are not any foundation. If you look at any foundation, there perhaps are more than 100,000 foundations in the US alone. But these are major foundations who make their funding program public. In other words, they have call for proposal program. It's not by negotiation. You call to them saying, I have a community building project, I want to do this. Would you fund us? No, we are looking at the major foundations that have funding programs such as, well, for example, Gates Foundation. Okay, cooperate, these are companies, okay, such as Google, Microsoft, or 3M, or 23andMe, these kind of companies who have, they all sponsor research for some reason, okay. Academic, these are universities like your institution that also make funding for research. Many do. I have one question here saying, does it also search globally? Yes, that's why we have this international sponsor type here. These are funding sources whose headquarters are not in US, but they do provide the grants that US institutions can be eligible to apply, such as United Nations, for example, okay, or the WHO, World Health Organization. Okay, so GrantForward focus on grants that US institutions can apply, but our sources come from globally, and the global part is the international category. Okay, so this sponsored directory. Next, for doing research, you need to find the collaborators. For doing research, you also want to let GrantForward know about your research interest. That's why we have a researcher profile. So this section called the researchers tell you that GrantForward is also a database of researchers. You can look at the researcher within your institution. You can look at the researcher across different institutions. So the account owner of this account is a professor in computer science. So at the University of Illinois, this is where GrantForward originated many years ago. It was originally called the IRIS, Illinois Research Information Service, but now it's called the GrantForward, but we still are strongly affiliated with the university. So this is a professor in computer science of the university, okay? And this is some of his basic information. And you see these keyword clouds. Perhaps without my explanation what this means, you could quickly see that, oh, this professor is doing something about data science, social media analytics, curriculum development, web sources. And it also has COVID-19 because after this pandemic, many people now are interested in life sciences. So he added these keywords specifically, although he has not been doing research to this. So this is the purpose of a profile, to inform GrantForward about your research interest. Most of these keywords are automatically derived from this researcher's scholarly work. The researcher has not manually entered all these keywords. Okay, these are derived such as the semantic proximity, community detection, derived from his 110. This looks like a senior faculty. Okay, these 110 publications, and these publications, no, he did not enter these publications one by one. field by field. No, he simply tell GrantForward where to find his information about his publications. In this case, it's his personal homepage. Okay, so that's GrantForward's philosophy. If you have your data somewhere, you just tell us, we'll grab it for you. In this case, it's from his publication page. Let's look at the other examples. Okay, so I have a question here. Can we do recommendation based on CV or just keywords? Excellent question. So that's why I want to show you more examples. Okay, so let's look at this example here. I'm looking at other university, and this is the assistant professor at the South Carolina Medical University. You see his keywords, immunological understanding, magical keyword to me, immune tolerance. Okay, I think he is a doctor, something like that. He has been doing research from 2012 to 2021. And you look at his publications are entered by CV. So he simply uploaded the CV. So yes, if you have a CV, I doubt if someone doesn't have it, okay? You must have a CV, and the CV must contain your scholarly work. You can upload that CV. This is a second method. And you ask, can we simply specify keyword? Yes. Earlier, we saw that this professor, this account owner, he has keyword he manually added because he has not been doing COVID-19, but now he added COVID-19. I will show you how we can do that. So yes, you can be recommended by simply keyword you added. I can show you some example for cases. For example, let's see, how about this one? So this is a grant administrator, research development specialist. She doesn't do research. She works with people who does research. So therefore, she entered these keywords that she cares about, or maybe her faculty members that she work with care about. So she entered ancient Rome art history. Okay, so yes, you can simply enter keywords. Well, you don't have to do research to get keywords. You can simply enter them. So it's because of this explicit control of the keywords that really make the recommendation intuitive and controllable. I want to show you some example of this. So this is a recommendation email. It says that the dear user, we have this new recommendation for you. So this may look like a standard newsletter that you receive from your grant office with a list of grants, but you may notice a lot of keywords were highlighted. Artificial intelligence, okay, information, data processing, detection, artificial intelligence. So you probably see that this is a machine learning computer science researcher. It is these keywords, although they may not make sense to us, but these keywords are dear, intimate to the heart, the research of this researcher. That's why we monthly send out about 40,000 grant recommendations. We have never heard the complaint that we are spamming because of all these keywords. The researcher knows exactly why each grant is recommended to them, is considered relevant. Okay, they can also change the keywords if they stop doing research in some area. They can explicitly control the recommendation. Yeah, that's why our recommendation have all these keywords here. And you say, what are the size? So I got a question. Why some keywords have bigger size, some are smaller? This means more important keywords. In this case, the researcher, this administrator, this user, she manually specified that ancient Rome, art history, classroom reception. These are classical reception. These are more important than others. Okay, in other cases, when keywords are automatically derived, for example, for this account owner, some keywords are bigger than others because he does more research in that area than other area. Okay, good. So this is about GrantForward as a researcher database. The support tab is where you can learn a lot about GrantForward, including, for example, if you are asking, do you have a handout for our webinar today? Where can I find more references? Well, you come to the guides here. So we have some welcome guide, researcher welcome guide. This welcome guide is actually, okay, what I am based my my demo today. It tells you how to create account, how to do keyword search, our next topic, and how to receive recommendations through profile. Okay, so that's our online collection of all these support material, including the welcome guide and the many tools for administrator. Some quick tip, 1 minute video telling you how to do some specific function, such as what to do if I forget my password. Okay, how do I use my homepage and so on. Okay, so let's see. So including also recorded the tutorial and others. Finally, I want to come back to almost the first step, not even the first step, but almost. We want you researchers to stay ahead of the game. Means that you will be well informed even before the competition has started. That's called the pre-solicitation. Many funding agencies, they communicate with researchers, okay, in various for various kind of information, such as say if I look for keyword cancer, life sciences, okay, you see some, let's see, notice of intent to publish. This is pretty standard kind of pre-solicitation from NIH. They are telling the community that I am preparing a grant program to publish very soon. So they understand that it takes time to prepare a strong proposal. So they want you to know about that, even though the grant has not been finalized. So this is what we call pre-solicitation. There can be other kind of information. It could be that they are posting some question and answers about a solicitation. It could be that they are asking input from the community about future research direction, or they may be holding a workshop to discuss a funding program and so on. So these are pre-solicitation. You can simply search by keyword to see about the announcement from funding agencies. And finally, the home tab here, you can use this to look at the various items: activity feeds, search template, curated grant list, and the newsletters. These are some of the communication. Okay, so for example, activity feeds, it says that someone has shared a search template with you. Well, you can click on the search template. Oh, here, okay, people have, well, maybe your administrator has shared with you a search template, which means a set of defined search conditions. In this case, is about NIH and health related sponsors. Okay, you can see the result here. If people have shared with you grant list, if your administrator, your grant specialist have built a grant list for big data, share with you, you will see it here. Okay, newsletter, the newsletter you have received from your administrators. Okay, GrantForward can be used to send out the newsletter about grants, and this is a new function, and many of universities are using this already. And then if you receive such a letter, you can review them here. Here it also shows you the updates, things, for example, the latest recommendations that have been sent to you, okay, or the user group that you have been joined. So if there are user group that include you, your administrator can do that. You can also join a group. If you are in that group, you will see your group membership here. Okay, so this is my first topic about navigating the pre-award information space.